It's my pleasure to welcome you back to our second session of our Part 2 orientation and to the CUNY School of Labor and Urban Studies. For you, those of you I didn't meet last week, I'm Rochelle Pinder-Cuffey, Director of Student and Community Affairs. We hope that those of you who were here with us last week walked away with some important information about the resources that we have available at SLU. And hopefully you also made some connections with your peers in the breakout room. For those of you who weren't able to join us, please make sure you check out the video and resources on Blackboard. Before we get started, there are a few housekeeping items I want to remind you of. We certainly love your questions. Please use the chat throughout the orientation to post your questions. We'll also be posting some information and links in the chat as we go along throughout the program. We ask that you keep yourself on mute. You'll have an opportunity to unmute yourself during question and answer portion of this orientation. The orientation is being recorded. You'll have access to this recording as well as the presentations on Blackboard through the SLU Orientation Resources Spring 22 course. And lastly, we welcome your feedback again on the orientation. So please take a moment at the end of the program to complete the brief survey that we'll have available. So to continue with the theme that we talked about last week, together we succeed through transition towards transformation, and to continue our work of building community, I invite Nick Pineda, our MA Labor Studies student and student union representative, and Maureen Lamar, our academic program manager for labor studies, to begin our community building activity. Maureen and Nick.
You could not hear me, and I was just talking quite a bit. Hi, everybody. Let me start over. I'm Nick Pineda. I was muted. I'm so sorry. I'm a student here, actually. Hopefully, after this semester, I'll be a third-time graduate from SLU. I've been in a certificate program and got my BA in the first term. Procrastination doesn't kill me. I'll be done and I will graduate and be a master's student. So that's who I am, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, everybody, for having me. I'm also a member of the Academic Governing Council, which you can and should consider being a part of, and also the Student Union, which is probably one of the most important things I've done being at the school. I was part of the initiation of that, of going out to the students and getting the votes, and we really need ladies to join it. It's been a boys club, mostly boys club, and we don't want it to be that. So if you're a student, you're coming in and you have a little bit of time to spare, it is well worth your while. There's lots to be learned and lots of impact to have in the school. Now, that said, sorry to take up too much of your time. The theme of this orientation is that together we succeed through transition towards transformation. Last week, some students shared their strengths and qualities that they relied on to support them in their recent transition into school. It's our hope that that transition will lead to great transformations in all of your lives. And we hope that your personal transformations will also help to transform the world around us. So today, we're going to consider a different aspect.
Thank you, Nick. And I don't want you to graduate. I'm very excited for you, and you are on your way, but we don't want you to leave.
I'll be back.
Anyway, you'll always be back, I know. So we want you to focus on your transition into the immediate community around you, your community of fellow students, SLU support staff, and your teachers, and consider what you might need for your transformation from us. As you think about you and your new community, the SLU community, please answer the following question. What do I need from my new community to help me achieve the transformation that I want? The question has been put in the chat also, and you can complete that form as well. To demonstrate, I will read out the prompt and Nick will respond if you want to.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, so what do I need from my new SLU community to help me achieve the transformation that I want?
And what I need is solidarity and support for each other during this time.
And what I need is communication on changes during the semester.
So you're all going to be doing this. We're now going to go into small breakout rooms for 5 people, with 5 people in each room for about 5 minutes. So if you've never done this before, we'll walk you right through it. When you go into the breakout rooms, appoint someone or one person report back from the group. Wendy, I'll get back to you about the commitment, or I'll talk to you offline. But we're going to go into these breakout rooms for 5 minutes. You'll go in, you'll appoint a person or appoint yourself. This will give us you all a chance to talk to each other. Please introduce yourself to each other and the group. And you can also write your responses in the chat, but we really want, when we send you into these breakout rooms that you're going to find in the link now, you're going to go into those rooms. You're going to spend 5 minutes. We're going to bring you back, and you're going to report back what the overall consensus was in that room of the things that you'll need to succeed in SLU. So welcome back, everyone. I don't know how jarring that was for you, but my first time getting slammed into a break room and pulled out was Matrix-like experience. So hopefully it was a little more gentle on you, but you know, this is breakout room. This is part of online learning. So it's good to get started on it. So welcome back from your breakout rooms, and I'm going to ask for the volunteers from each room to report back. So for breakout room number 1, who is that person? And if you could raise your hand or just start speaking.
How do you know what break room are you in?
You were in.
Oh, that should have been when you first went into the room. It should have told you breakout room 1. So that's fine. You know what we'll do? There's only 6 breakout rooms. So who wants to go first?
Okay, well, I don't know what room I was in, but
that's okay.
It was a pleasure actually to hear from everyone else. Everyone's response to the question, it was actually something that we all could relate to. And someone actually piggybacked off someone else's response, which was also cool because it's the same. We relate to each other in the sense that our community, what we need is the word that I would like to say. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he used the perfect word, was grace, not religiously, but you can use it. So,
yeah.
It was the most powerful word for me in the discussion was grace and understanding. And those 2 people, more power to you. I like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Nilma Baez. That was great. Can we have somebody from another room raise their hand? Who wants to speak next? Is that Farina?
Yeah.
Farina.
Yeah, I just met some really cool people as well. And they all do really cool things for transit and for the school system. One of the things that we talked about was having access easy can get to the systems, like for example, navigating Blackboard and all of that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Wonderful. And Jeff is actually on with us, who is our IT expert, and is going to tell you how easy he's made that for all of us via links, via pages. I put my email actually in the chat, so please feel free to reach out to me. Been here a long time, so I might know what you need is if I can't help you myself. So who's next? And really, those are great answers. I gotta say, those are really, really great answers. Having access and grace, it's what I needed the most to get anywhere in this school. So who's next? Go ahead, chime on in. Let's do just like we did in the breakout rooms. Let's just start talking to each other.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Hey, Glenn, welcome. I know you're new.
Spent a lot of time with this guy. He's a great guy. Listen to everything he has to say tonight. Listen, it's one thing you're going to learn. It's a little bit intimidating at first, being in front of the screen with a lot of strangers. jumping in, like Nick said, with the breakout rooms. Just get comfortable with it, get used to it. It's not that big of a deal once you get going. We had a great discussion in my breakout room. The topic was, what can I bring to the classroom, and is it worth it? What can I expect to get out of this? Whether you have a union background or not, I'm speaking from the labor studies perspective, you have a lot to learn. No matter how much you think you know, there's always more out there that you can add into your mind. And if you do have a labor background like I did, and you've been doing it for a couple of years, it's very important to the rest of the class and the school, your experiences that you can share back. So just, I'm glad to see every year, every semester, new faces. Just, be prepared to share what you've learned and add to that knowledge base. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you,
Thank
Glenn.
you, Glenn. And I think Kasia Pazda was representing another room. Is that true? You're on,
Yeah.
Kasia.
In our room, we were talking a little bit about hoping for flexibility going into school, like during this time, and how it's a little bit different than like traditional schooling, and looking for that flexibility to help us, with things like opening and closing. And another thing was, like looking for ways to apply the skills that we learn, like having real world applications for it, so that the things that we are learning aren't just like textbook things.
Very nice.
Very nice. I actually love that response. I think I have something to say about every one of the responses. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone else have anything else that they'd like to chime in before I start wrapping this section of the orientation up?
I think we might have 2 more rooms. I think there were
Okay.
four that reported, and there might be 2 more, I think. Are there any other speakers from representing a room? If so, speak up, because it's hard to see all of your hands at once. Neva.
Yes, hi, I'm Neva, and I was in Glenn's group. I believe it was breakout room 5, if I'm not mistaken. However, I'm just like a shop steward, a retired shop steward, and of 5 years from the city of New York. So I have a whole lot of, like, I'm ready. I have a passion. I'm like, like Sally Fields, okay? And yeah, I have to really control myself. I have a passion. I want to be a union attorney. I still like to go to CUNY Law School to become a union attorney. However, I went to the Cornell. I love that campus on Madison 34th. However, in 2012, I did graduate certificate. And then my shift was changed to 4 to 12. Oh God, management took me right out of school again. So I'm a retiree now. I want to move to North Carolina. I want to go back south. And I know those are right to work states. So I'm interested in getting my BA. So I want to be an organizer. Like, I want to raise the roof, So is that happening now? Is there, in the right to work states, they're still not unionized?
Well, what's happening is, unless anyone else from admin wants to chime in, those kinds of things are the kinds of things that this school prepares you to go out into the real world and step into. The right to work states, I can't really give you an update on every one of them and where they are with the protests and with challenging those laws. But what I can tell you is that I've learned how to challenge those laws. And I immediately, I get phone calls all the time with folks with labor issues when they found out that this is where I got my degree, and I work for the city as well for environmental protection. And it's what you're going to find is that it is the most real world applicable knowledge that you'll probably get in any college institution. You know, it's the book knowledge is there, and it also it serves to inform you into the actual work you're going to do. Like, for instance, I had no idea about the true history of labor and how they were so intricate in so much of our lives. We wouldn't have the 5-day work week if it wasn't for labor. So those are the kinds of things that you'll know and then be able to apply in real time. So that said,
I
Neva,
want to be an old lady arbitrator.
Is it Neva or
Old
Neva?
lady arbitrator.
Well, you can do it. So
Thank you.
thank you. And on behalf of SLU student support team, I want to thank everyone for your responses and let you know that everyone at the campus will be considering them so they can properly support you at SLU and beyond. So I want to encourage you to share with your fellow students, with your advisors, with the rest of the community, what you may need so that we can make sure that you have a successful transformation. So I'm gonna send it back to Rochelle. Thank all of you. That wraps it up for this part of our orientation.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick and Maureen, and of course to all of you for contributing what you need from SLU. So I am delighted. At SLU, we have a number of amazing faculty who you'll have the opportunity to meet very soon. I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Santi, Assistant Professor of Urban Studies, who teaches in both the Urban Studies and Labor Studies programs. Professor Santi research is focused on the effects of financialization on working conditions, labor and employment policy, and the historical political economy. He has also served as a special advisor on the presidential campaign of Senator Bernie Sanders. And he is the author and the books and arts editor for our SLU's premier New Labor Forum journal. We're thrilled that Professor Santi is here tonight to share with you the faculty perspective. Professor Santi.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Rochelle. That's a very generous introduction. I wish I could, I'm sure everyone else here has equally generous introductions to be had. I would love to hear them, but I guess we don't have time for that. But I will look forward to meeting all of you, at SLU, either in class or at events or just around, maybe someday in the hallway. So yeah, again, as Rochelle said, my name is Santi. I teach both in urban and labor studies at SLU. I came to SLU out of political work in the labor movement and on political campaigns. And I think sort of my trajectory speaks to a lot of what I'm hearing from all of you about your desire to have an education that is both intellectually stimulating and actionable, right? Where you can bring what you learn in the classroom to real world organizing struggles and political work. And that's what we do. So, I came, again, I was doing political work for years, and I wanted a place where I would be able to both explore ideas and work with, a range of students who come from incredibly diverse backgrounds. I mean, as you can probably already tell from the orientation, and as you'll tell in class, we have people who have just such a tremendous amount of experience in different things in this world, and it's rare to find a classroom setting like that. And so our classrooms themselves, I think, actually speak to what a lot of you are looking for in terms of, again, the blend of intellectual inquiry and practical action. So, I guess, just a little bit about myself. My research interests, as Rochelle said, are broadly, if I was going to describe it in one sort of word or two words, I would say it's political economy. To me, and I would, if we had more time, I don't want to, I'm sure everyone spent enough time on Zoom over the last 2 years, so I'm not going to keep you all here. But to me, political economy means, how the economy, how all of us, our daily lives, what we do, how much we make, where we work, how that's structured by political choices and political struggles. And, ultimately what that means is that, capitalism was produced, it has a history, which means it can be transformed, it can be overcome, it can maybe even someday have an end. And studying that and thinking about that historically and through, contemporary struggles is what I do in my academic research, and it's what I teach about. And I think that's kind of, that's a thread that runs through a lot of our classes. And I think it's something that speaks to what I'm hearing from a lot of you. In terms of how to, so that's like what we do. but we're also, you know, we're a unique school that's composed of people who again have come from the rank and file, come from, you know, the real world, are engaged in a lot of the questions that we're exploring on a practical level every single day. Right, go to work and then come to class at night, and we're talking about welfare reform in 1996, and people, you know, have practical experience with that in their day-to-day job. We're talking about the effects of the financial crisis on housing and homelessness. People have practical experience with that. So I mean, like, you know, our classroom settings are you know, also I don't even know where I was going with that. That's just kind of connected. But the punchline of all of that is, we see the classroom as a space in which we're developing, again, intellectually and politically. And that means that, like, we're here to support everyone. This isn't supposed to be a pressure cooker environment. This is in particular a difficult time for all of us, right? I mean, this thing is just endless. We're all exhausted. It's been challenging. And the last thing that, you know, a school like this should be is an additional burden or an additional stress in all of your lives. We're here to create an environment that's supportive, that's nurturing, and that's conducive to the kind of intellectual growth that you all, you know, want to have. And I would say the key to success here is simply just communicating with your professors, communicating with everyone else in this room about how you're doing, what you need, and what kind of support, you know, we can offer you, because that's what we're here for. We want to see everyone succeed. Everyone, you know, can succeed. We've got an incredible, you know, set of alums, many of whom are alums of multiple programs who you're hearing from, who are great resources to talk to. And people like me, the faculty, we're here also to be resources. So really, like, and I mean this sincerely, even if you don't have me or other faculty as a professor, don't hesitate to reach out. You know, we're here to be resources for you. We're here to support you. We're here to get to know you and build a community, because, you know, community is what it takes to sustain the kind of movement that we all want to see. So, so again, that's all. I don't want to take up too much time. I'm happy to, you know, answer questions or to just hang out and chat later on. So shoot me an email anytime. You can find me on, it's just my name, Samir.Santi, SLU.CUNY.edu. And I hope to hear from all of you. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Samir. That was great. Thank you. My name is Irene Garcia Mathes, and I am the advisor for the Labor Studies MA program. And I'm here to introduce the student panel. You know, students at SLU wear many different hats. They have families, they have children, they have parents, grandparents. They are active in their communities. They are activists politically. So it gets tricky for people to keep up with classes sometimes. So it is my pleasure to introduce three wonderful students. We have Dionne Sims. We have, she is in the Advanced Certificate in Health Care. We have Mr. Latrell Johnson. He is a BA student. And we also have Pedro Freire, who is in the MA in labor, and he's about to graduate. So Pedro, take it away, please.
Hey everyone. Yeah, my name is Pedro. Yeah, I've been at SLU for some time in the MA program, and yeah, I'd say it's a really good school with a lot of great faculty that's really well-rounded, and you know, in specialization in topics on labor and urban studies. And yeah, so for this panel, you know, I guess, you know, I guess I'll introduce oh yeah, so the other students that, yeah, I'm just gonna pretty much ask some questions towards Latrell and Dionne, like and even myself, and you know, respond to some of these. And so I'll ask the first question is can you share with Latrell or Dionne, can you share with new students what practices have worked for you as a student?
Ladies first. Dionne, you can go, and then I'll go on to you.
Hello, everyone. First, let me thank you for this opportunity to be able to share my experience. I'm Dionne Williams Sims, and this is just my second semester at CUNY SLU. I must first start by saying that CUNY, SLU is doing a wonderful thing, because I started out wanted to do the advanced healthcare certification, and now it's after one semester I've changed my mind and now want to go into the urban studies MA program. So something that happened miraculously or marvelous within the first semester that wants me to go further. And I want to say that also one more credit that I want to give to SLU and share with the new students that's coming in is that when I was asked 2 weeks ago to share my experience after only the first semester, I said yes. And this is big for me, because I wouldn't have done this before if I asked into a new institution to go on a panel and share. So I'm really excited that SLU had made me so comfortable to take this invitation and want to share my experience. First, I'd like to share by saying that with my fellow students, that's incoming fellow students, know yourself. For me, that's what works. Know what's good for you, and what knowing yourself by choosing what time is the best time for studying. I had to do that at this level of my studies. I wanted to find out and differentiate if I'm a morning person, or studies best, or if I studying best at night is what would make me most successful. So after finding that out, I manage my time by putting blockers, in my time frame, getting off social media, and doing whatever I need to do to be successful. So one of that works for me, trying to know myself and what works for me. And one of the things that makes it so successful so far at SLU is the wonderful programs that they have, the resources they have. I know that they're gonna have the different departments speaking and enlightening you more about it, but I'll just share my experience with the Writing Center. It's wonderful. Use this resource. The library, use these resources. It's no excuse for us or for anyone to turn in a D paper, or struggle to do a paper when we have resources that's free at hand with flexible time frame. This Writing Center put aside weekends, Sundays, Saturdays, and I just think that this is so wonderful. They're friendly people, colleagues, and they really have a passion for this. So there's no reason for us to not get an A paper when we have resources like this. So make use of these resources. It's there. It's not one of these places where you said, I wish I have the resources. It's here. So I just want to share that with you guys. Use these resources. Build your paper, make your paper strong, make yourself better, and you get resources from the library that that is not, it's nowhere else really. It's right at hands. So I just want to share that was really some of the resources and some of the things that helped me to successfully go through my first semester.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'd agree with Dionne as well. The Writing Center, it's a really great resource. They're always really helpful in terms of helping you organize, whether it's an outline or whether you're working on your final draft of like research for a paper. And yeah, I mean, like I myself, I also found that like the databases and the access to the academic journals that CUNY has through the Mina Reese library is extremely useful. There's a lot of subscriptions to other, information, like even stuff like looking up like, public records on, say, like companies, for instance, or stuff like that. So it's a really, rich and say extensive resource for doing research or whatever. And, so yeah, I would say so. Another question I'll ask for us is, how have you balanced your school duties and tending to your family?
Hi, this is Latrell. So one of the questions about balancing your time is it's very important that you schedule out, kind of like what Danae was saying, like you schedule out time, know what works for you. And one of the things that I would say is don't procrastinate. That's one of the things. If you're a procrastinator, you should try to get a hold of that now, because depending on how many classes you're taking, you would need to use your time wisely. The other thing I want to do is I want to shut out the facility, a school facility at SLU. There are so many amazing staff and people to assist you that it's no reason for anyone to not succeed at SLU. Because I mean, from IT, from admissions, from the advisors, all of them are, I would say they likely have an open door policy, because when you reach out to them, they like, unless they just really busy or something happened, they reach out to you right away. They're very polite and willing to help you. They don't put you off on other people. They actually, help you themselves. So I think a good strategy to use is make sure that when you start school, that you make sure you know who the facility people are. Who, like, you definitely need to know your professors, and also know different places you can go when you have issues. Like I said, IT, admissions and stuff, school related. And also another good tool to do is when you get in class, form community amongst your peers. Because sometimes, like for example, if you, we all have busy lives. So we may not be able to make every class. So it's good to form community and help people that you have in class that you can reach out to when you are not able to make class. So that's one of the things that really helped me. And don't be afraid to, ask for their email, maybe not their personal number, but you can ask for their email, and always reach out to your professors. Your professors are very good they will, help you in any way they can. They're very open. So make sure that you ask. The key is to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a question, ask a question. I believe that there's no wrong question or stupid question unless you don't ask it, and then you just stuck like not knowing what's going on. Definitely ask questions. That's one thing that I would say.
Cool. So have you had the chance to get to know other fellow students?
I have. There is like a group of us. I had a criminal justice. It was pros and cons of mass incarceration. And we really had a good class last semester, and we formed bonds. So we kind of stay in touch. And I know that doing final papers, some of the students have reached out to me regarding, ask some questions about their final paper and what to do. So it's always good to definitely find some people in class that you can reach out to you when you have questions, if you don't want to bother the professor. But again, like I said, the professors are amazing, and they are definitely willing to help you anyway to succeed in your future endeavors.
Pedro, let me share this. Zoom is difficult to have a class. I haven't been able to physically met with any of my classmates last semester because it was 100% online. However, I felt close to them. It felt like a family, and I really appreciate the way it was set up because we had to stare at the same faces all day for 3 hours, each session for 3 hours. And it's not easy, but the professor was able to make it really, really comfortable. He started by doing the ice breaking, wanted to know, really concern, show us empathy and compassion, and with the transition and with everything that was going on now. He makes sure he touched base to know, how we were feeling, and set the atmosphere or the class based on how the climate was in the setting. So that was important to be able to endure, the semester, and felt close with each other, even though we were on a Zoom base, because it's not easy. We still have some people that's doing it for work and have to do it for school. So it's important to be able to tolerate and to do both.
Cool. So next question is, if you had to give only one piece of advice to fellow students, what would that be?
For me, the piece of advice that I have, don't take yourself too seriously. Don't be so hard on yourself. I was in one of the rooms earlier and I heard the new students mention something about they need to, well, one of the key words was grace, and they were saying they need to be patient because they're just starting school, and I totally understand that. And just the thing I would say is don't be too hard on yourself, especially if you're just getting back into the groove of school and everything. You may have some challenges, but with this wonderful staff at SLU and all the resources and that you have at SLU, you don't need to take yourself seriously. Just kind of take your time. Like I said, make sure you ask questions if you need anything. And like I said, it's a handful of helpful information on their website. And also, if you need to reach out to someone, there's plenty contact emails and contact numbers that you can contact. But like for the new students, I would say don't be too hard on yourself.
I guess I'll be duplicating what Latrell just stated. And as Professor Samir stated, communication is it is the key. And you may be shy, we may be shy at first, but find out one person who you're comfortable talking with, or find a mode of communication that you feel most comfortable with. If you don't want to talk on the phone or on the Zoom based email, find some mode of communication, and so that you could use the resources that you need, because it's there. It would be a waste to go on the ride and go through the whole SLU experience and not use the resources. It's a waste, because the resources is there. Capitalize on it. That's my however way, if it's through whatever mode you want to communicate, capitalize and use it, because that's that's what I like to tell.
Cool. So guess the next part of this section will be like, yeah, if any new students has any, or anyone from the audience has any questions to ask us, yeah, we're willing to answer them. Like, yeah, anyone can feel free to jump in. You can like, you can either just ask a question, or yeah, you can also just put it, or you can write it out and also put it in the chat, and we'll try to the best of our ability to to answer them.
And you can always keep those questions in mind and email to people and email to other students and to even the professor that was just here before. Unfortunately, we need to move on. And you can still put questions in the chat. I really, really want to thank Pedro, Miss Williams and Latrell. They are just very, as you can tell, like we have really wonderful students, and when all support each other, you know, the transition and the transformation comes easier. And so thank you all. Thank you, Pedro, Dionne, and Latrell. And I need to pass it to Patrick for the next section. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Irene. Appreciate all our students. And I want to introduce, Nick mentioned this, being a member of the SLU Student Union, being a student rep. I want to introduce two more reps to talk about the SLU Student Union. I want to welcome Tanya Caldwell and Marlon Bailey.
Thank you, Roger, and everyone. Yeah, the Student Union is a place to be. I'm the co-chair for SLU Student Union 2021st to 2022. And I'm also a master's student in urban studies. I'm also the grad delegate for SLU on the University Senate. And this year I've created a food pantry virtually, but the funds are there. We are working on under the Learning Hub, also creating a capstone mentorship that will be by Mr. Michael Renner, fall under the Learning Hub also. So, you know, we are a close-knit family, Nick and Glenn and everyone here. I'm part of the second cohorts of the Senate, of the student government, because this is our second year having, and we're going into the third. So it's a brand new thing. And if you want to, you know, Kennedy says, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Ask yourself, ask not what SLU can do for you, ask what you can do for SLU. And, you know, being part of the Senate and the student government will make you do that. You know, tuition freeze as part of the Senate. You work on issues, academic, there are several committees. I'm also on the legislative committee that deals with bartering with city legislators and up in Albany to get tuition free. So that's what's part of the student senate also. So, you know, the student government is a place where you gotta be, and SLU and everybody is a family. I look at it as a family, and I work good with everyone. So, you know, and we have respect. And I always tell everyone, respect, respect, respect. And don't, because I'm the co-chair, the title doesn't mean anything. All of us have to get our hands dirty. And that's how we work with the student government. Tanya, you can fill in the rest. I don't want to take up all the time. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great. So good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Tanya Caldwell, and I am the secretary from our student union. I'm on my last semester of the BA program. I started in SLU as a part of the community leadership semester program, and then it's when I start my BA. Now I'm applying for the master program in labor studies. So last year, our student union, as Marlo mentioned, we brought the food pantry. Soon the capstone mentorship program. We are bringing this program, I guess, by the fall semester, if I'm correct, Marlon. So also Multicultural Day, we plan to you know, connect the diversity that we have in the school, probably bring food, so any piece of art, any picture that can represent the diversity of our school. And finally, our student union will have election in April. The school will send the state to apply. Our student union will benefit from your support. We want to see more diversity, as Nick mentioned. It's not a lot of women. We need the women. Nothing wrong with men, but we need more women in the student union. And yeah, we also want you join them. If you cannot be part of the student union member, you can join our meeting, make a space, help to support our student body, and bring any question, any feedback, your opinion, and your participation will help us to grow as a student, as a school. I know a lot of all have life outside SLU, but trust me, we will be fine if you can join the student union. On my personal experience, I was a little skeptical because I have a job, I have kids, I have an outside life from the school. I'm a full-time student, and I'm making a space to support the school. And again, welcome to the new semester. I hope everybody have a good semester. If you have any question, I will drop my email in the chat, and feel free to contact me if you have any question. If it's something that I don't know, I can pass to another member, and yeah, they will follow up. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya and Marlon. Really appreciate you representing our school and representing our students. And look for student union meetings in your email coming early in the semester. I now want to turn to our registrar, Laurie Grimes, who's going to talk to you a little bit, give you an update from the registrar's office. Laurie.
Thanks, Patrick. Hi, everybody. Just want to say a couple of things just to remind students, anybody that's coming to campus for in-person or hybrid classes, please make sure that you have uploaded your COVID vaccine information in CUNY first. Also, we've made a few changes to the schedules, so please check your classes that you're registered for any time changes or modality changes. Hopefully there's no more changes after today, but just make sure you check your schedules, okay, before your classes start. And that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to remind everybody, please make sure you get your COVID vaccine information uploaded into CUNY first. It's very important. We don't want anybody to be dropped from classes and not be able to come to the campus. Okay, and I wish you all a great semester. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie. Appreciate you. And now we will continue. People mentioned systems earlier, and there are a few systems that you'll have to become acquainted with as you interact with your new semester. One of them is Blackboard, and we have a wonderful coordinator for Blackboard, Craffens Valson. Craffens, I want to welcome you.
Thank you, Patrick. Hi, everyone, and welcome to SLU. As Patrick mentioned, I'll be the Blackboard support. And during today's presentation, I just want to give you a brief overview of Blackboard, how you can access it, the basic things that you can do. So let me share my screen. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yes.
So to go to Blackboard, you can either go on the SLU website under academic program, there's a link there, or you go to cuny.edu because it's an enterprise solution, just like CUNY First. So it's located on the university main page. Once you go to cuny.edu here on the right side where it says login, you move your mouse over it and you click on Blackboard. This will take you to what we call our single sign-on page, which is the same page where you're logging into CUNY First, and your credentials is the same. The same credentials you use for Blackboard is the same one for CUNY First, which is different from your SLU email address. So it's basically your first name, for example, for myself, first name, that last name, the last 2 digits of your MPO ID. Your MPO ID, I think it's an 8 character, that's from CUNY First, and that's what you'll be using to access most of the systems toward the university. So it's first name, that last name, 2 digits of your employee ID at login.cuny.edu, and whatever your password is. So now once you're into Blackboard, it takes you to the main page. It's a standard page where you have some tabs on the top, and here at we have some general announcement university-wide that where you can get after hours support for Blackboard and after hours and weekend support, other university-wide communications. And the most important thing that you would use on a daily basis is those basically are those 2 tabs. You have here on the left side, my courses. That's where you will see all the courses in which you are enrolled toward your CUNY career. Whether you're taking class at SLU or another CUNY, they all will be listed here. The difference is that you will see the school name on it. For example, this one is a course from Hunter, as you can see at the end at Hunter. This one is from SLU. He has School of Labor and Urban Studies. So all your courses will be listed here. On the right side, you have my organizations. In there, you have all institution-wide services that you are enrolled as a student. So, for example, all of you have been added to the SLU Orientation Spring 2022. If you don't see, when you log into Blackboard, if you don't see it, you can reach out to me or Pedro or Rochelle, so they will send me the information to add it to you. The enrollment is done manually, which means we have to manually add you to those organizations. But for the courses, that is done automatically. Once you go into CUNY first or whatever the system, I forgot the name of the new system for student registration. Once you select a course, you will apply, you register for the course. Within 24 hours, you should see the course showing up here under my course module here on Blackboard. However, all courses will be available, they're already available, which means once you click on it, it takes you straight into the course, and then you have content. You might see a course, and then when you click on it, there's nothing there. That's because your instructor may not be using Blackboard to teach for the semester, or they haven't loaded content to the course. So therefore, you might need to reach out to your instructor to find out, hey, I'm in the course in Blackboard, I don't see anything, or I cannot submit something. If you have a technical issue, let's say you cannot submit an assignment or you cannot access Blackboard, you can contact the help desk. They will guide you. If they can, they will reach out to me. Or feel free to reach out to me directly. I can set up a Zoom session to go over it with you. And I believe we have a few training sessions scheduled for next week. And I'll be doing one about Blackboard to go over it for you. So these are the basics about Blackboard. The SLU orientation, once again, that's where you'll find all the resources that's been discussed throughout the orientation here, and you can feel free to go into it. As long as you're an active student at CUNY, you should be able to access Blackboard without any issues. If you have a problem, once again, reach out to the help desk. They can help you. If not, they will reach out to me. I can have a Zoom session with you guys to go over it. I see there's a question. It's your CUNY First credentials. The same way you access CUNY First to register for your course, it's the same thing. For example, for me, it's my first name and the last 2 digits of my employee at login.cuny.edu. And it's gonna be the same thing, similar to you. Always remember to put the at login. It's not at SLU3.cuny.edu. That's your email address, okay? So the first one, which is your credentials to access CUNY First and Blackboard, is sometimes if you contact the service desk or the /help desk, they might refer to it as the CUNY login credentials, okay? So I'll stop sharing here, and I hope to see you guys at the orientation, the workshop that is scheduled next week. I don't remember the date. Rochelle, do you remember the date? So you can go over Blackboard in details, and I should be able to answer all your questions.
February 1st at 5:15.
5:50. Thank you.
Yes, and
Thank you, Craffins, and thank you, Rochelle. And I just put the Welcome Week workshops into the chat. It's a PDF in there, and Craffins workshop is one of those on February 1st.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
And I also put my email in the chat. One thing about my email, it's not at SLU, it's at cuny.edu because it's coming from the central office. So when you email me, and if you don't hear back from me, you can reach out to anyone from the help desk or Patrick or Rochelle. They will be able to share my information with you so that I can get in touch with you guys.
Wonderful.
Once again, welcome.
Thanks, Craffins. And now I want to introduce the Associate Director of the Learning Hub at SLU, Michael Reimer. Michael.
Thank you very much, Padraig, and it's so great to see everybody. I am Michael Reimer, the Associate Director of the Learning Hub. At SLU, as you've already seen, we take a lot of pride in our student services, and the Learning Hub is definitely part of that. The Learning Hub offers one-to-one appointments and workshops to help you succeed and save you time. I've dropped a link into the chat where you can learn a little bit more. And we're also going to play a video where you'll hear from a member of our writing team. And then after the video ends, I'll introduce a panel of current students and recent graduates to give you their take on the Learning Hub. First, here's that video.
My name is Yusuf Tehrani. I am a writing consultant at the SLU Learning Hub. My academic background is in TESOL, which stands for Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. I got a master's in TESOL at Hunter College. My background specialization is in working with non-native speakers of English, but I branched out into working with all sorts of different types of students since I've been working in writing centers for so long and teaching as well. I love working with non-native English speakers, but I think that background also helps me to work on those details of language with anybody, whether you're a native speaker or not. I have also experienced a lot of writer's block and anxiety myself, and that's something that I think I'm often able to help students who come to the Learning Hub with, getting over anxiety, writer's block, and also relatedly connecting to like what you're doing. Why does it matter to you? That is something that often gets lost, but I think it's a really, really important thing. It's often where the best arguments and analysis come from. My advice for students who are using the Learning Hub, or want to use Learning Hub, number one is just make an appointment. Just try it. Once you have that appointment, you will get a sense of what we do and how you can best make use of our services. It's a great time to come in early on. A lot of people think they should only come at the end. Come early on and come multiple times for one project and try to come regularly. So if you think of your writing in stages, I think that will encourage you to not try to cram everything you want to do into one session, one appointment with us. Number one piece of advice, make an appointment.
Okay, Yusuf is one of our wonderful writing consultants. We have 4 writing consultants, and I hope you have a chance to work with him or another member of the team this semester. It's now my pleasure to introduce our student panel. Maria Nelly Giraldo is a recent MA Labor Studies graduate. We also have Ebony Lloyd, who's a graduate of our Certificate in Public Administration and soon to be a graduate of our BA in Urban and Community Studies. And then Glenn Guild, who's a graduate of 3 SLU programs, the Labor Relations Certificate, the BA in Urban and Community Studies, and the MA in Labor Studies. Moderating this panel is Cristina Ramos Cayan, a distinguished graduate of the MA Urban Studies program. Over to you, Cristina.
Thank you, Michael. And despite having a graduate degree, I still forget to unmute my mic. My name is Cristina Ramos Callan. I'm a 2018 graduate. I'm from the last class of the Murphy Institute before You became the wonderful new school that you are. So cheers to all of you and that hard work. I'm really excited to be here today because I really wanted to express to you all that being a part of this community was such a transformative experience for me personally and professionally. And I think that being a student at SLU can do the same for you, but you have to be intentional about it. And that's what we're going to talk about today with working with the Learning Hub and taking advantage of those resources. So the first thing I want to ask is to Marianelli, can you just talk a little bit about your experience working with the Writing Center and really just getting those resources from the writing services and the library services that they have there? What has that been like for you as a student in your experience?
Christina, Marianelli was having some tech issues earlier, so we should maybe move on.
Yeah, let's go. Let's move on to Ebony. Ebony, we'll start with let's retrace our steps. We're gonna wait for Marianelli to join us to talk about library services, but could you talk a little bit about your experience with the writing workshops and the quantitative reasoning workshops that are there to support students, especially in their capstone and in their research methods years?
So it's not just you with the unmute. So I think I want to start off by saying the one regret that I have is that I didn't leverage services of the Learning Hub as much as I did when embarking on my capstone project. Because in hindsight, I see how meeting with the librarian, understanding how to navigate websites, databases, getting feedback from the consultants could have helped me to improve my writing, especially as it pertains to the response papers that you guys are going to be embarking on almost immediately in about 80 to 90% of your courses. So I'll start there. I wish I would have come in a little sooner, but however, even though I was a little bit late to the party, the Learning Hub has had a tremendous impact on my writing. It's helped me to elevate my writing in response to research writing because that was something that was unfamiliar to me. So they gave me step-by-step guidance every portion of my paper, because you guys will see once you get to that part that it's broken down into bite sizes so you can actually do the work. Last semester alone, I think I've attended combined over a dozen one-on-one sessions and workshops with the Learning Hub. So I was there. I know every consultant. Michael knows me pretty well. And just like Nick did today, you guys had a little bit of an introduction to it. The facilitator introduces you to a topic. They provide resources for you, real life examples from other students. And then they allow the participants to work together on exercises to kind of drive home the concepts introduced. So I loved brainstorming and getting feedback from my peers as well as the facilitator. And in the one-on-one sessions, I got feedback that gave me concrete steps to reaching my goal. But here is the cherry on top, everyone. These experiences or me engaging with the Learning Hub was purely academic for me. I think some of you guys said that you work for the city of New York. I work for the city of New York as well. And a lot of these skills and resources were transferable. So, you know, in the pandemic in 2020, a lot of our workflows, just life went upside down, changed, and we had to stand up a lot of virtual and remote processes. And I used some of the resources that I got from the consultants to actually help me flesh out my project plans. So I think I would say overall, I think the Learning Hub is a great resource that should be utilized every semester. They're always revamping their workshops, and resources are always, and they're always ready, willing, and able to help students. If I had to pay for these services, guys, I would do so happily. Luckily, we don't. So that's it for me. I just want to thank you for allowing me to share my experience with the Learning Hub this evening. And I welcome you all to the SLU family.
Thank you so much, Ebony. And if I could echo what you said about using your opportunities and engagement with your coursework and with the services available to you in the Learning Hub, to the extent that if you are working in the field that you are pursuing your degree in, and if you are taking courses that are germane or associated with the work that you do on a day-to-day, 100% just figure out ways to tailor your coursework and your assignments to help you with your work at work. Why are you doing twice as much work when you don't have to? You have research you have to read for work, do it for school too. Like, line everything up. Do the two birds with one stone thing. It will help you to just decompartmentalize yourself. It'll get you in that mode of thinking about, where is my next step professionally? Where is my next step academically? How can I put those two things together? That's what I did when I was there, especially with the quantitative reasoning and interpreting all those reports and all those statistics. I don't do math. I hire people who do math. But I learned what to look for, and I got support in those pursuits by using the workshops and using the services at the hub. Glenn, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with writing services, just to kind of reiterate some of what Ebony said, but from your own fresh take?
Sure. Welcome everyone to SLU. The writing services offered by the Learning Hub have been a tremendously positive contributor to my academic success. Taking it back, I've been at SLU for a number of years now. I can remember my first experience was a requirement by a professor. And there's a lot of anxiety involved with dealing with someone new for the first time, especially if it's over the phone or via internet. And you're going to submit your work that you put so much time in for a stranger to potentially give you a lot of negative feedback. That's something that really takes an effort to overcome. But I have to tell you, once you get through that first writing appointment, it's all downhill from there. I've dealt with Michael. Michael is great. I've dealt with several other writing consultants. They've all helped me so much with response papers like we've heard about. But primarily what I found to be really helpful was with the capstones, because I had never done research before. Not only was I able to get through those and do it well, but I picked up a lot of skills that helped me in professional writing for my career and outside of school, and also to give great feedback to my fellow students when we have to do peer reviews. So I encourage everyone, don't wait until you have to go and it's the night before your paper is due. Especially in the last 2 semesters, they've made these appointments a lot more accessible to us. So use them, get comfortable with it before you need it, and you will pick up a lot of skills that will help you. Thank you.
Glenn, before we go to the next segment of our evening, can you just talk a little bit more about peer review and getting some help with framing your comments?
Absolutely. It's a lot of it is going to mirror when you go to the writing center. For example, if I had a meeting with Michael and I had my response paper and he gave me some feedback and we talked about it, a lot of the feedback you get from the writing center consultant will be determined by how much information you give them. So share your syllabus, share the expectations of your professor, so your consultant will know better how to tailor their critiques of how you're writing and what your goals are. And once you can wrap your head around that and you get more comfortable with it and you know exactly how to respond the way the professor wants you for that given class, you can apply that to reading someone else's paper. And then it kind of in a way become the writing consultant to your classmate that you're teamed up with. And it's a very fulfilling experience when you're able to give that back to someone else.
Right. And of course, those peer review experiences are a little more content oriented and less mechanics of writing, but you still have those opportunities to help each other out. Thank you for that. I want to move on to introduce our terrific coordinator of library services, Mason. Mason, do you want to talk about the library a little bit?
I would love to. Thank you very much. I was flattered and happy to hear that a number of people tonight specifically mentioned being able to find incredibly useful resources through the library databases, through the things that we provide. We work really hard to get our hands on as many. Oh, was that a question? I heard someone talking. Oh, okay. We work hard to get as many databases as we possibly can that will directly benefit the kind of research you guys are doing. So the first thing actually I'm going to do, I'm going to put my name and email address in the chat. I only have a couple seconds today, but your best bet is to email me directly if you have any questions about research or library access at all. I can meet with you during the day. I can meet with you in the evenings. I set up the occasional weekend hours. I have upcoming tutorial sessions All of this is over Zoom, by the way. I have upcoming sessions about how to access the databases from off campus, how to use the databases efficiently and quickly. I'm really big into efficiently and quickly finding information. I'm going to talk about upcoming workshops about how to use Zotero, which is a citation management tool, which will automatically make your bibliographies for you. I see a couple of thumbs up and some clapping. Whenever I talk about Zotero, I always start by apologizing that no one showed you Zotero ages ago. I wish you've been using it forever. You shouldn't have to spend almost any time physically writing your citations and your bibliography. It's all automated, and it's just a massive time saver. So again, my name is Mason Brown. My email is in the chat, and I have office hours available through the Writing Center, through the Learning Hub, but you can also email me directly and I can be a lot more flexible. I try and make as many evenings as I possibly can available, because I know everyone is working, during the day and has classes. So it's not necessarily the easiest to find time at like 3 in the afternoon on a Tuesday to meet with me. So I try to do as many evenings and weekends as I can. I see someone in chat said that Zotero is a cheat code, and it basically is. It feels like it shouldn't be allowed. It's such an incredible time saver. And I see Michael also put a link to the upcoming workshops. So that's what I've got for now. But I do want to reiterate, my schedule does fill up quickly. There's a lot of student demand. So email me early, email me often, and I'm happy to schedule whatever I possibly can. And with that, thank you very much. And
Thank you so much, Mason. So to echo what Yusuf said in his short video before, appointments, appointments, appointments. Organize your lives, schedule your stuff, get in there early and often. Don't be shy. Reach out to the people who can support you. Don't ask, don't get. So with that note, are there any general questions about student support services that you'd like to ask? Raise your hands, put your questions in the chat. We'll go for about 5 minutes before turning the panel back over to Michael and Patrick. I'll give you about another 15, 20 seconds to ask some questions, raise some hands, and see. If I don't see any, we're going to turn things over and keep things moving right along.
Thank you so much, Christina. And I appreciate you, Ebony and Glenn and Michael and Nellie, who really tried to be on this call. And I think that's one of the challenges of Zoom, of course, but Nellie really tried so hard to be on. She's a wonderful student and a wonderful contributor to our school. But thank you all, appreciating you all. And we'll move on now to talk with Jeff Rickman, who leads our IT work at SLU. Jeff, could you give us an update on IT?
Welcome everyone to School of Labor and Urban Studies. My team and I are here first off to support all your needs from the technology side. Few things I put in our hours of operation into the chat. Our phone number, our email. Please reach out to us. We are there from 8:30 in the morning till 9:45 at night to support your needs. If you have technology needs, be it your personal computers, or if you need to borrow a computer from SLU, we will be here to support you. There are workshops coming up. One is next week, I believe it's the 2nd, on how to use the Office 365 package in your email. Please join us. But my staff is willing to also help students who need help learning how to use the product, getting into their email, utilizing the library. If you need that assistance, contact us. We'll set up an appointment. We'll do a one-on-one training session with you to give you a hand. My staff will also be your first stop if you're having Blackboard problems. We could help try to get you in, where if you need to reach Craftins, he may not be available when you need help. So please reach out to us. I want to follow up on one thing that the registrar said earlier. By getting your vaccination records into CUNY first, that will authorize us to send out a link to you by email or through a text message so you could gain access to the SLU campus if you're coming on site. If you go into the GC library, it's called CLID 4. It's a web URL. It just allows you to show your pass so you can walk into any of the campuses. All CUNY campuses are utilizing this access. So if you live in Queens and had to go to the Queens Library, by showing that access pass, you'll be able to get in. But the only way to get it is to upload your vaccination records into CUNY first. And again, if you have trouble or you don't receive it and you come into campus, reach out to us. My staff and I are here to assist you to get in. And if anyone has any questions, please let us know.
Thank you, Jeff.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Yes, thank you. My name is Desma Caesar. I'm trying to understand that if I want to go to the library, I'm not vaccinated. I cannot go because I'm not vaccinated. The library
Right now, CUNY's guidelines are you have to be vaccinated. All students coming to campuses have to be vaccinated.
Okay.
So you would have to.
I'm sorry.
You would have to be vaccinated to go into the library, but the library also has access through the web, so you may not have to go in to do your research work.
Okay. And then I would need a computer. How can I just call, or I have to fill out a form? How do I get it to you once I fill out the form?
If you reach out to the help desk,
okay,
the service desk could forward a form to you that you will have to fill out. You will need to come to campus to pick it up. So in order to come to campus to get it, the one time you could bring a test within 7 days showing that you're negative, and we could allow you into the campus to pick up the laptop.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So where would you put a number that I can call, or how?
I put a number in. I will put it in again.
Okay, thank you.
And Desma, also Kelvin, another service desk staff person, put in the form for if you want a laptop on loan, and the form is on that link that has been put in chat. And we'll be sharing all these resources also on the Blackboard resource site. So look for them there as well as our website.
And also, if you go to the SLU website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, go to IT Help Desk. There are links to the different parts of the help desk. So if you need to borrow a laptop, you need help setting up your Microsoft Office 365, there are links to technology guides and directions on how to set everything up.
Okay. Another question, the laptop, it comes with internet service, or I have to have my own internet
You
service?
have to have your own internet service. There's built-in Wi-Fi, but it's not active if you're not on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
We have a question from Natasha. Jeff, if we received an email saying we have cleared for access, is there anything else we have to do?
Just show that access pass every time you come to campus.
Okay.
I see a couple of hands. Neva?
How are you, Jeff Brickman? I just want to give you an open thank you, because I could have chose to kind of sneak it in. I appreciate your being approachable and for your one-on-one assistance, you know, in my admissions application during the pandemic, that day that you just helped me. And I have to say to all the students, yes, you are approachable, and you did in fact take time to help me. And for that, here I am. It wasn't last semester, but I'm here, and I just want you to know that I appreciate you, Jeff. I really do.
You're welcome, and thank you very much.
I'm coming for my laptop Friday.
No problem. We'll help you get everything up.
Yes, sir.
Squared away.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jeff, again, and thank you, everyone.
You got a couple more hands up over here.
Okay.
Howard?
Oh, yes. Thank you. So I have a question. As for a staff, a CUNY staff who is also a student, how that works if they don't have if they're not vaccinated? Can they go on campus and
CUNY staff are a little different.
Okay.
CUNY staff can go in and take testing through the CUNY test sites, but it has to be a CUNY test site.
Uh-huh.
And then you'll get what they call a green pass. It just shows you've been tested on a weekly basis. So
But that is, can we use that to get to go on campus and get?
yes, and as long as you get that, then I could view the CLID 4 access, and you should have a pass to show on your phone.
Thank you.
And Nicole.
I have a question. I was a student at NYU, and they had a technology store where we could get discounts on laptops and different type of technologies. Does CUNY have anything like that set up? And do they have partnerships maybe with Apple for discounts on computers and software?
You could show your school ID in an Apple store, and they may give you a discount. I know we had something set up with Dell previously, but the old CUNY eMall, I don't know if it's still active. I would have to check and get back to you, give you an honest answer. But I do know if you go in,
let me put the link on the, and you will use your CUNY first credentials. The same credentials you're using for Blackboard and CUNY first are the same one. So it's a page with all the technology resources that are available university-wide. You have to scroll down to email.
Preference, you should mute yourself. We can hear you. I don't think you realize.
No, Preference was talking and telling you where to go look.
I'm sorry.
So the email is on the CUNY technology resource page, and you need your CUNY first credentials and preferences. Are all the vendors still up there? I know they were changing it a while ago.
And for tech stuff, please follow up with the IT help desk for any IT assistance, and they will be glad. They'll be back in touch with you really quickly. And we appreciate a great deal our IT team for supporting us, especially during this tough time dealing with remote. And I want to move on right now to talk a little bit about these tough times. Oftentimes, we may need some support, and we have a wonderful wellness counselor, Donna Contreras-Aguirre. She is a wonderful person to reach out to if you feel like you need some support. And I just put her name and email into the chat. I also want to mention we collaborate with the Graduate Center for Accessibility Disability Services with Claire Wilson, who's the manager of that office at the Graduate Center. If you do feel you might need some accommodations, please use the accessibility@slu.cuny.edu email to follow up with that, and we will get back to you really quickly. I want to call on my colleague, Kevin Simmons, to talk to you a little bit about LGBTQ. Kevin.
Good evening. Hi, folks. Good evening. I've been sitting patiently waiting for this moment. I'm Kevin Simmons, academic program specialist for the School of Labor and Urban Studies, and I, coordinate multiple programs. But what I want you guys to know is that the School of Labor and Urban Studies, we have an atmosphere for inclusivity, and we work with a council all across CUNY, where we basically are a committed group of staff and faculty to support the intersectional LGBTQI community. Our mission is to ensure the visibility and inclusion of the entire spectrum. We aim to be a collaborative resource to create connection and community, identity, and troubleshoot gaps to increase representation, awareness, and equity. So I'm going to include our link at SLU so you guys can click on and look at it at your own leisure. Basically, we just want you guys to know that we're welcome. If you guys want to set up groups, workshops committed to the LGBTQI community, we will be more than welcome to hear your thoughts. So I'm not going to be long because there's a lot of information in the link that I just sent you guys. So feel free to click on it, read it, and get back to me if you have any more questions regarding what we do. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Kevin. And we certainly want SLU to be a safe space. And someone who celebrates that a great deal is another colleague, Samina Shahidi. And I would like to call on her to close things out tonight. Samina.
Thanks, Patrick. Just a quick question. Is there a word cloud for us to refer to?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay, thank you. So, way to go, everyone. You've made it to this point. And just 2 exercises to kind of reinforce some of the great messages we received tonight from each other. If you're looking at this word cloud, you'll get to see some of the words and terms and ideas that each of you have contributed to the discussions of the last 2 orientations. And we're all seeing together time, support, solidarity, communication, patience, commitment, raise access, working, and apply. And great things to think about, as well as all of the other wonderful words and meanings included in this cloud. So one way of thinking about and recommitting to our spring 22 semesters, where we're all going to be doing some good researching and writing work together. I just wanted to say a little bit of a researching experience will happen right now, where you're going to hopefully, we hope, complete the student survey. Very, very easy, straightforward survey. You'll be running surveys yourself, hopefully, in the future in terms of your research projects. So it works if we're all involved in it. I want to thank everybody for everything they brought to tonight's work together, tonight's orientation, especially the staff, very much the students. If you check chat, you'll see that survey any second now. There it is. Take a couple of minutes to fill it out. Wishing everyone a great spring 22 semester. Remember, we are all here for you. We are all here together, committed to the success, your successes and SLU successes. Have a good night.